you ever struggled with making decisions, especially big and scary ones? Fret not. In today's episode, I'll share with you one unique way to make great decisions. This will probably appeal to you if you take a more strategic and logical approach in life. This method is called the Cartesian Questions. It is named after René Descartes, a French philosopher, mathematician, and scientist who lived between 1596 to 1650. He is famous for having made an important connection between geometry and algebra, which allowed for the solving of geometrical problems by way of algebraic equations. Did I lose you there? Anyway, I first came across this methodology and framework over 10 years ago, and in fact cited the Cartesian Questions in my book called Powerful Questions, which I wrote back in 2005. I've also used this several times since, especially when I had to make difficult decisions. The power and magic of this technique is it forces us to examine from 4 different angles, right, which we might not have thought or explored about the decision to be made. So without further ado, let me show you the Cartesian quadrants and its 4 questions. And you can see this if you're watching this right now. Okay, there are 4 quadrants right here. And the top left question asks, what will happen if I do this? Okay, what will happen if I do this? The top right question asks, what will happen if I don't do this? What will happen if I don't do this? The bottom left question asks, what won't happen if I do this? What won't happen if I do this? And finally, the bottom right question asks, what won't happen if I don't do this? Again, what won't happen if I don't do this? Simple questions, aren't they? At first glance, the diagonally opposite questions may seem to produce the same answers, and that's perfectly fine. By asking a question in a different way, our minds can sometimes elicit different answers, and that's really the goal of this entire method, and that is to explore all possibilities. Now let's check out the 4 questions a bit more, and I'll share with you how I used it recently. Question number 1 is the easiest. What will happen if I do this? What will happen if I do this? It assists us to clarify the obvious and to realize what else could happen as a result of making the decision or change. Now on to question number 2. What will happen if I don't do this? What will happen if I don't do this? It helps us see why we may not want things to remain the way they are and to spot possible pain points. As for question 3, what won't happen if I do this? What won't happen if I do this? So this question helps us realize any possible loss resulting from making the change or decision. And finally, question number 4, right? Arguably the toughest question. What won't happen if I don't do this? What won't happen if I don't do this? This helps uncover any other possibilities not answered with question 1. Now let me share an instance of how I used these questions in very early 2017. I was considering going for a pricey mentorship program, one that would require a 5-figure investment. Now with question number 1, I came up with 6 points such as number 1, I'll be networking with high income earners, right, who are willing to invest in themselves. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, learn to create high converting funnels to generate consistent passive income. And number 3, save in income tax. Number 4, possibility of high ticket masterminds of my own. Number 5, invest 5 figures into the program and funnel. And number 6, invest time into the program and glean from the mentor. So those are my 6 points. Now with question 2, I had 4 points such as number 1, life goes on, right, status quo. Number 2, remote possibility of passive income using this particular method, right, method X. Number 3, I keep my 5 figures course fee. And number 4, I lose my opportunity of learning from the mentor. Now for questions 3 and 4, I was stumped no matter how hard I tried to answer them, because as far as I'm concerned in this instance, questions number 1 and 2 have already taken care of it. So having examined all 4 questions and seeing the responses weighing in one clear direction, I knew there was to be only one outcome. Hence I signed up and went for the program. Now in your own life, you can use these Cartesian questions in making a decision on just about anything you can think of, from deciding about a marathon to getting into a new relationship or checking out a new place of worship, or even deciding a career change. Now, I believe in this framework enough, I didn't hesitate using it together with my wife for us to explore a great opportunity of being based overseas within a year for 1 to 2 years for us and our children. Now, in closing, I've introduced the Cartesian questions to you and the strength of this unique method. It's certainly not the only way to approach making strategic decisions. Now, are you in the midst of making a huge decision in your life? If so, why not give these 4 questions a go? If you would like to go through the Cartesian method with me in making an important life decision, do reach out at calvinchan.org. I'd love to see how I can assist and work together with you. Thank you. Hey, thank you for listening. Do take a moment now and like this episode, leave a comment, and also subscribe to not miss out on new episodes. Once done, check out your next episode. Want to connect? Do so at calvinchan.org and also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Stay well and talk soon.